Imagine a world where the very foundation of an industry is shaken, not by market fluctuations or technological advancements, but by the collective voice of its most marginalized workers. In the United States, the construction industry, a sector heavily reliant on the grit and sweat of immigrant labor, is witnessing a seismic shift. This transformation is driven not by bulldozers or cranes, but by lawsuits filed by survivors of harsh immigration policies. These legal battles are not just court cases, they are the battlegrounds for the rights of thousands of workers, fighting against systemic injustices that could reshape the construction landscape forever. This essay delves into how immigration lawsuits are acting as a catalyst for profound changes within the construction industry. Immigrant labor is not just a part of the construction industry, it is the spine that supports it. These workers often undertake the most demanding jobs, and yet they are the most vulnerable. Lacking formal rights and frequently underpaid, their precarious situation is exacerbated by stringent, sometimes punitive immigration policies. The catalyst for the current wave of lawsuits was a series of high-profile workplace raids that led to widespread deportations. These incidents threw a stark light on the vulnerable status of immigrant workers and disrupted not just individual lives, but also the operations of the companies that employed them. The lawsuits assert that the raids and the subsequent treatment of workers violated both the US Constitution and labor laws. Accusations of discrimination and suppression of workers' rights to organize have formed the crux of the legal arguments, presenting a significant challenge to existing practices. The personal stories emerging from the raids are poignant. One worker, who had been with the same construction firm for over a decade, described how the raid felt like a betrayal. Another spoke of the fear and uncertainty that now permeates their community. In response to the lawsuits and the negative publicity, some construction firms have begun to reassess their labor practices. There is a noticeable shift towards more transparency and the implementation of stricter compliance with labor laws. As these lawsuits gain traction, there is a growing consensus that new regulations are inevitable. These might include stricter scrutiny of how construction firms verify the legal status of their workers and ensure their rights are protected. The shift towards a more regulated and formal employment structure is likely to increase operational costs for construction companies. However, this could also lead to a more stable and committed workforce, potentially offsetting these initial financial burdens. Beyond legal and economic implications, there is a potential for a cultural shift within the construction industry. A move towards more ethical labor practices could foster a more inclusive and fair workplace environment, enhancing overall productivity and worker satisfaction. The outcomes of these lawsuits could extend well beyond the construction sites. They hold the potential to influence broader national discussions on immigration and labor rights, potentially inspiring similar legal challenges in other sectors. The courageous steps taken by immigrant workers to challenge the injustices they face are reshaping the construction industry in fundamental ways. These lawsuits not only seek to rectify wrongs, but also to set new precedents that could ensure a fairer, safer, and more equitable workplace for all. As this legal drama unfolds, its reverberations are likely to be felt across the US economy, influencing policy, culture, and corporate ethics in profound ways. This essay reveals the transformative power of legal action in not just restoring rights, but reshaping industries. As we continue to witness these changes, it is clear that the courage of a few can indeed pave the way for the justice of many.